Chapter 3 Burns of Peace, Confessions of Love. I do not own Mega Man X. Maybe I should go have a word with Capcom. Maverick Hunter Headquarters, Training Facility. Zero ran toward the target and smashed it to pieces with his bare hands. He took a moment to look at the destroyed training robots and just sighed. After all he had been through, all the HQ training programs were just child's play. The only way he kept in top shape was by sparring with X, because he's the only one who stood on equal terms with him. He didn't look toward the door when he heard it open and Axel stepped in. "Hey Zero, need a training partner?" Axel asked. He wasn't as good as X, but even he had to be better than these programs. "Sure, why not?" Zero said. Axel now fully charged after stuffing his face in the mess holes, ready his twin pistols and stood opposite of Zero. Zero, without warning, charged toward Axel, who barely avoided a slash from Zero's saber, and in turn Axel opened fire on the Crimson Killer. The bullets pelted Zero, forcing him to take a defensive stance with the saber to deflect the bullets. "Not bad, Axel. You're getting better," Zero said. This made Axel smile as the Crimson Killer brought his saber back to an offensive stance and charged Axel again. This time, Zero slashed, feigning him with a vertical slash and connecting with a horizontal slash that pushed Axel back. The young Reploid then changed from his pistols to his grenade launcher and fired 3 rounds consecutively, 2 of which Zero avoided, but a third connected, sending Zero into the nearest wall. The older Reploid smiled, enjoying the challenge he was finally getting. He caught to his feet, then charged and fired off 2 shots from his buster, then flung an energy beam from his saber. All 3 caught Axel dead on, sending him into a wall. The young Reploid got to his feet and ran towards Zero as Zero ran toward him. The two met in the center of the room, and Axel fired off a round from his launcher, right as Zero sliced the launcher with a saber, causing an enormous explosion, which shook the walls and sent the 2 hunters into the walls nearest to them. Zero and Axel both got to their feet again and realized they were both weaponless. Axel quickly brought out his Gatling gun and opened fire on Zero. The bullets pelted Zero, and the Crimson Killer tried to decide what to do. Zero brought out his ice glaive and started trailing it in front of it, trying to deflect Axel's bullets. For some reason, the bullets penetrated Zero's glaive, which forced the Red Death back and eventually to drop to his knees. This brought yet another smile to Axel's face. Zero laughed, taking the young hunter off guard. The Crimson Killer dropped his glaive and ran at Axel, stopping a few feet from the young Reploid, and came with a spin kick that caught the former Red Alert member in the side of the head, knocking him into the ground. "Okay, Zero, I give up," Axel said, rubbing the side of his head. Maverick Hunter Headquarters, Medical Bay. Ailey had fallen asleep about 2 hours after Gate and Hydro started working on X, despite the noise and ruckus they were making. While she slept, she dreamed. In her dream, X had finally achieved its goal of world peace. The two were married and had settled down to as normal a life as they could, with X being leader of a utopia where humans and reploids coexisted, a place in her dream called Arcadia. She also had a normal job as a research scientist at lab, going back to her roots from before she had become a Maverick Hunter while they were in Mega City. Instead of always living in Arcadia's great tower where they lived while Axe was there on official business, they had a beautiful suburban home in Mega City, close to what the former Maverick Hunter headquarters used to be. During the dream, she was in total bliss and never wanted to be woken up. Gate, however, was attempting to wake Ailey, both having a hard time doing so. He tried for several more moments until she started awake, much to her dismay. "We're finished," Gate said, and tiredly stood up and walked over to X. The repairs Gate and Hydro had made looked really good. The Sir Hunter looked almost new. "Thank you, both of you," the spotter said. "Unfortunately, I couldn't induce a wake-up, so he was still in a coma, and there were still a lot of things we couldn't personally repair, so I installed temporary patches. They won't last forever, but they'll hold him together for hopefully long enough. He'll need someone who knows the system better to remove the patches and probably fix them. That or hope his self-repair wasn't damaged as well," Gate bitterly admitted. "It's okay, Gate. You two did the best you could. The rest is up to X himself," Ailey said, trying to make Gate feel better about himself. "When he does wake up, he can't return to combat. The temporary patches will only hold long enough for X to find his swords to finish repairs and get him back to new. If he finds the patches will rip and he will be in worse shape than before," Gate said. "I understand. I will handle it," Ailey said. "Well, Elia, I must be off. Research doesn't complete itself," the scientist said. Ailey walked over and gave Gate a friendly hug, and he teleported out. "I am going to go get some sleep now," Hydra said, obviously frazzled from all the work that had to be put into X. Ailey smiled at the medic and nodded. "Again, thank you, Hydro. Without you and Gate, I don't know what we'd have done about X," Elliot said. Think nothing of it. X is my friend as well, Hydro said. The medic waved to the spider and took off for a personal room in the living quarters. Elliot moved back and then went to the nearest computer and dialed in Cygnus' number. Maverick Hunter Headquarters, Cafeteria. 2 weeks had passed since getting Hydro's work on X had completed. Zero, Elliot, and X were sat at a table eating various things for energy nourishment. Beyond that, Reploids had no real reason to eat food. Anything right now to help keep them from being too focused on X, since he still hadn't woken up, and surprisingly there hadn't been any major Mavericks, which is where today's biggest surprise would come. Hydra burst into the cafeteria with an exasperated look on her face. You three, he's awake, she said, almost breathlessly. The three Hunters looked at each other and scrambled to get up and ran toward the medical bay. Maverick Hunter Headquarters, Medical Bay. X had finally woken up to find himself feeling like shit. What hit me? X questioned himself, working out some of his kinks. The blue bomber tried to sit up, but realized he wasn't ready for that step yet and laid back down. He looked himself over. He looked fine. Looked being the keyword because he could tell those repairs were minor, cosmetic, and only temporary. X scanned the systems and took into account of all of his damage. His self-repair system had unfortunately also been damaged, so he knew he would have to do the major repairs to himself when he got up and about. X tried to remember the last things to happen to him, and in a rush, it all came back to him. Ellie said she loved me, X said to himself, that being the first realization hitting him. He was still shocked that she had said it to him, and left him confused as it forced him to confront the feelings he had about her. At that moment, Zero, Elliot, and Axel walked in. X! Elliot happily running to him and throwing her arms around him in a hug, which caused sparks to fly from X. This caused her to let him go, and she stood back embarrassed. Easy, guys. I'm still damaged goods, X said to his friends. Hydra said you should be able to get up and at him in about 2 more days. So it was able to have this in his voice that made X smile. It made X feel good that something like him being okay and would make Zero happy. In X's mind, anytime Zero was happy after what happened during the Red Floyd's operation was a good thing.